Hello and welcome to Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week is episode 40.
40. I can't believe it's 40.
I know, and we are talking about vampires.
Vampire.
Stick around if you want to hear more.
Nice.
Are you going to do an evil laugh?
No, I can't do an evil laugh. I tried. Yeah, something like that anyway. Oh no, that's just creepy. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you know why I was doing an evil laugh?
Why are you doing an evil laugh?
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is the 31st of October.
It is.
Do you know what that is?
I do. It's Halloween.
Yes. Hence the reason we're talking about vampires today.
Are we talking about vampire?
Yeah.
Vampire today? Yes, it is. And Halloween. Now, let's just cover this. I think we need to be upfront and open about this.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your feelings on Halloween, Connor?
I don't like it.
What? No?
It just bores me.
It bores you?
Yeah, I've
Oh,
not
right.
really got much interest in it at all. As a kid, I used to like the trick-or-treating. I think it was always more so, I always enjoyed eating the sweets.
Yeah.
Cut pumpkins I quite like. I think they can be quite cool if they're done well.
Yeah.
And you get I quite like the colours. I quite like the autumn colours.
Yeah.
I quite like autumn.
I've seen a few wreaths on the front doors with
That I think
autumn
quite
things.
cool.
Looks really cool, actually.
I just Halloween as the actual day. And I just don't enjoy it.
I cannot stand the gore fest.
Yeah.
I've never been in one, and I've said this on these podcasts, I don't like gore anyway in films and that, but as a postman, I walk around going up to people's doors, and people have got, it's even more difficult. You forget door thongs at Christmas, it's even more difficult than that. It's just covered with stuff.
We haven't really talked about door thongs as of yet. Because
but we will
we
do.
got to Christmas.
Yeah, we'll talk about door thongs at Christmas. But everything's covered. Everything's got blood, like fake, like blood splattered stuff and all that. Zombies and that. And I don't.
See, I'm not a massive fan of the decorating of the houses and stuff like that. Because
I like the pumpkins. Pumpkins are really. I mean, that's an art in itself.
See, I quite like because I'm not going to hide the fact that orange is my favourite colour. So when it comes to autumn time, the colours that you get at autumn is always really cool.
Yeah.
And you do get some really amazing colours at autumn.
Oh yeah, everything looks fantastic. Yeah.
However, I just don't like the way things are dressed up, the way things are, even like the parties and sort of things. It always used to be like, go to a party and it's a hand, but it's actually just jelly, or there's a
I
skeleton
can't stand
hanging up
anything
the
like
stairs
that.
and
Any
stuff like
food that's supposed to be eyeballs and things
and
like
then
that.
the fact
It'll put me off everything.
Well, we've got limeade and we've also got cherryade, but they're actually blood and snot and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just rather just drink cherryade, but
I don't mind drinking snot, but just tell me it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell me it's snot, and I'll drink it, and it's limeade.
I get what I'm saying might be as people would argue is the same for Christmas. I love Christmas, and yes, decorations can be very tacky, but I don't know. I will say though, Christmas, the decorations are up for a lot longer, so I can see how that can become irritating, and after a while it does become irritating having these decorations there. But I do quite like them a lot of the time. I think they're better decorations anyway.
Halloween is a thing.
Sorry, we went off on a tangent there.
I wasn't expecting it to
Slagging
go on
off
as long
Halloween.
as that, but yeah, Halloween's a thing. Neither of us are big fans of Halloween.
I can put up with it.
However, it is the 31st of October, so it'd be wrong for us to not sort of fold back that page and mark it as a podcast.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
I've forgotten.
Vampires.
Oh, right, that's it.
Okay, so we've, traditionally, I mean, we all know who the most famous vampire is, don't we?
Yes, Count from Sesame Street.
That's the one. One. Yes. Yeah. No. And but second, Dracula. I don't know why I said it like, because he says it Dracula. He doesn't actually say Dracula when you read it. He calls it something else, or he refers to himself as something else. But vampires. Now there is a definition. You know, I like my definitions from the dictionary.
No,
Google.
you don't. Yeah, exactly.
And it says
Never
it's
seen
right
you
around
use a
European
dictionary.
folklore as well, particularly European folklore. A corpse that's supposed to leave its grave at night to drink the blood of the living. I should be saying it like that. By biting their necks with long pointed canine teeth. Right, so that's traditionally what a vampire is. And if I said to you, draw a vampire, I presume you'd draw one with a widow's peak, fangs.
Widow's Peak?
Oh, it's the hair that comes down.
Oh,
the front,
right. If I'm honest,
cape.
The main thing I'd remember would be the fangs.
Fangs and the cape, yeah.
Yeah.
Tall. That's not really, when you actually go into the folklore.
Always pale, but then you're talking about a corpse.
Yeah, no, always pale on that. But across Europe, the description is very different, and the depiction, even the depiction of Dracula, if you read Bram Stoker's Dracula, right? We've got, like, I guess Hammer Horror and things like that have given us Christopher Lee and before that Bela Lugosi playing them, and they're these tall, dark, quite strikingly handsome men playing Dracula because he's supposed to seduce people and all the rest of it. And even in the more recent one, or not that recent, but Gary Oldman played Dracula. And
I
when
watched
he was
a show as a
younger-
kid called Young Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Is that
about-
in prep for this, yeah?
Well, as a child, yeah, I always knew I was going to do a podcast on vampires one day. So I once watched a CBBC program called Young Dracula, and the premise of it was a kid who was a vampire, and when they reach a certain age, he wasn't all that fussed. He didn't want to drink people's blood. He didn't want to do all that. He wasn't particularly evil. He was quite good. But once they reach a certain age, they go through a change, a bit like puberty,
Yeah.
and then they grow their fangs, and then they are evil,
Oh, no.
and they can't go outside and stuff like that.
But the depiction of Dracula, right? Everybody's got this idea of what Dracula's supposed to look like. The description in the book is he's got sort of curly hair, but white curly hair, and it's on the sides of that, and a big bushy white moustache. He's got like a unibrow. He's nothing like...
Father Christmas.
Yes, he's his father. Oh, Father Christmas. Ho. But he's how many times are we going to do that? All the time. So he's nothing like that.
One
but then,
lump of coal.
Satsuma. Right, anyway, so the depiction is totally different. But the legends of vampires, and still very, very much... I mean, obviously, we know that... Dracula is supposed to come from Transylvania in Romania.
Got a hotel there.
They have. But, they are still very much legend, and folklore is very strong in these places, and the religious element of it, the very superstitious things around it, and the evil eye. You're supposed to sort of point your fingers at people, and obviously crucifixes and everything are still very, very much part of the culture in there. Yeah. Well, we're going to go through those particular things.
Will we?
Well, we will, because that's the way I like to do things.
And that's the way.
So legend versus, and in inverted commas, reality, right? Because we know that obviously there are people that live their lives like vampires, or whether vampires exist anyway.
I wanted to talk about that.
Go on then.
Would you like me to talk about it now?
Talk about it now.
Well, in preparation for this podcast, I did some intense...
Wow, there's a statement I don't usually
I did
hear.
intense research by scrolling through Facebook, and a clip of a documentary popped up on my phone.
Right.
So I've only watched the clip, not watched the whole documentary.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But there are people across the world and there's quite a lot in America, which I think this is part of this was based, that I do believe themselves to be vampires. I'm not saying they're not vampires, but I'm saying they do believe themselves to be vampires. Yep. So there's I found it I did actually find it quite interesting, because the difficulty with having a vampire, someone living as a vampire in real life, you'd go, that's pretty dangerous because it edges on cannibalism.
Yes.
If you were just to bite someone and start drinking their blood, that's pretty bad. But anyway, there was this guy in America who was I believe he was meant to be like the king vampire or whatever, I don't know, vampire king.
King vampire?
Yeah, vampire king.
Yeah.
Vampire king. Anyway, and
self-appointed, I presume.
So yeah, I believe so. But they would go to clubs where they'd hang out with other vampires and stuff like that. Yeah. Because there's often these kind of communities like it, which are with a lot of these things. But anyway, they talk about that vampires nowadays they feed off different things. So some of them feed off energy, and some of them feed off blood meals.
Yeah.
So ones that feed off energy would just feed off other person's energy. You know how people talk about how people have an energy and stuff like that.
Surround yourself with positive people. Is that what?
Yeah, sure.
So you're I mean,
so they would just kind of like, I think it's almost like a meditation type thing, but they'd feed off of the energy of someone else.
Okay.
This particular person, before he went out to the club, it might have been afterwards, he's got a partner who is essentially his the one who gives him his meals, his blood meals.
Right.
So what they do is they get a scalpel,
right,
and he slices part of her neck or her arm or something like that, and would just drink a bit of blood.
Okay. Now, obviously,
but it seemed quite sexual the way it was.
Yeah, but
treated.
But the thing is,
I think it's because it was his partner as well.
Because of it,
they both got a kick out of it, and
I suppose. Well, it sounds a bit drastic, but yeah, I guess if two consenting adults and all the rest of it. But
I went all over the shop there.
You did, but the thing is, it's always been, even in the book Dracula, he's grotesque, and they talk about his breath because he's of the blood and that stuff and everything being, but there's a sort of, as much as he's grotesque and repulsive, he also has this side of him that is strangely attractive. So there's that sexual element of it as well, even though it when they're not, he has a power over people like that, and they are supposed to have that sort of.
I think that was the thing with that couple, is the fact that she felt like, I don't know, that he had this power over him, because that's how some people like to treat things, but it was the guy that used to do Blue Peter, Andy, that when I used to watch it, he was the one, and he ended up just having to leave them in the room because it felt like he was a bit too intrusive, but he was just sitting there and watching for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously just drinking blood.
On Blue Peter?
No, not on Blue Peter, but he's the one who used to be in Blue Peter.
I was going to say, they're pushing the envelope a little bit on that then, yeah. The only thing is, though, so, he drank the blood, but he obviously ate normally.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, he must do. Because one of the things I found out about vampires is pooping, right? Because if you only drink blood, it will create an intestinal impaction causing vomiting because of the iron content. So if you purely drinking blood, and vampires, actual vampires, well, the way they're talked about in legend, that they would only drink blood. They don't eat, right? They don't need to eat. They just drink blood. Yeah, I mean, you were doing some signal at me then. It sort of threw me off somewhat. So basically, with all that iron content, the poo would come out black, tarry, and incredibly smelly.
Well, I can imagine that's like a scab.
What?
Well, a scab goes a bit black, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, but I'm talking about poop.
Yeah, but it's like
vampire
congealed
poop.
anyway, blood, isn't it?
So it's not good for you, right? basically. And there's all these, and
in fairness, the people who are drinking it is normally a corpse. So,
what the people drinking the blood?
Well, classically,
undead anyway.
Not the people.
The ones they're drinking it from, they're transforming them into like a slave almost for them.
There was a film.
The other thing, can I just say,
there was a film with a kid in it, and they used to drink cow blood, wasn't it?
Well, there's a Stephen King book called Salem's Lot, right, which frightens the bejesus out of me really badly. David Soul was in it. They'd done a TV film of it, but then there was another film made called Salem's Lot 2, and it was about a community, and they actually fed on the cows. They didn't kill the cows, but they fed on their blood, so they basically kept them alive, but they weren't actually doing it to humans anymore, and I think it changed. I don't think Stephen King wrote that one.
I'm talking about the one...
I think Roger Hargreaves
the one with
wrote that one.
The kid from Stuart Little in it.
Oh, Little Vampire or something that's called.
Something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
oh, right,
he makes friends with a little vampire, doesn't he?
Oh, right, okay. In last week's quiz, one of the questions involved an alien invasion, and one of the options was walk within shouting distance of one of the ships and initiate contact through sounds. Unfortunately, due to a heavy cold, it sounds like I say walk within distance. It's shouting, not
Fact check.
Part 2.
Right, okay. So, let's say you encounter a vampire, right?
Where?
I don't know. You're... I don't know. Do they come out of the plug hole?
Yep, think so.
Yep. So you're sitting
Like
on the
bats.
toilet.
Classic bats come out the plug hole.
Classic bat thing coming up the plug hole, right? They come
Coming up to plug hole.
and he goes, and he sees you, and what are you going to do? How do you deter, how do you recognise and how do you deter a vampire?
Well,
how are
if
you going to save your
it's
life?
come up my plug hole, first of all, it's not a normal person, is it?
No. So you've identified there's something different about it. I don't think they come up. So he's flown, look, the fan light, because you're on the toilet, obviously the fan light's open.
Not
Right?
always.
Not the fan light, the fan window, the window fan light window. Right?
Yeah, the window.
Yeah,
the only window
window's-
we've got in that bathroom.
Yeah, so a bat's come in, right, turned into a vampire, right, because that's what they do.
Classic
vampire
vampire move.
activity.
Oh, he's already. I can tell he's a vampire because
Right.
he's turned into one.
So tell me, what can you do to protect yourself or to ward him off?
Well, firstly, I've just pooped myself.
Yeah, but it's a normal one, and luckily you were sitting on the toilet, so
Yeah, I've
you're
not been
okay.
drinking blood. And
No.
It doesn't smell really bad. Unless I had garlic bread for lunch,
Yeah.
in which case,
So garlic. So classically, they talk about garlic being a deterrent.
I think it's just because you don't get vampires in France.
In Pizza Hut, I thought you were going to say then.
Yeah.
In France, right.
Not just Pizza Hut, Papa John's as well.
Oh, yeah, and all the other ones, yeah. Yeah, so garlic, right, but when I looked into the garlic bit, it seems to have come from some of the characteristics and a lot of what people talk about with vampires have the similar sorts of thing to diseases. So someone who has rabies, right,
Rabbits.
or tuberculosis was another one as well. Some of the things and ailments that go with those particular diseases, like the foaming of the mouth with rabies, and you have a heightened sensitivity to certain things when people have rabies. They carry, the disease in their saliva, so if you see, there might be blood as well coming out of the mouth. So people would look at people that have got those sort of things and think, oh, vampire. But you have an aversion to pungent smells if you've got rabies. It completely is one of the things as part of it. So garlic would be one of those things, and they think that's where it might have come from. Obviously, that's been picked up within things like Bram Stoker's Dracula, because he talks about rubbing garlic on things so he doesn't go back into the coffin and all this sort of thing. Also, they talk about rabies victims have a potential and often try to bite. Right? And again, that falls into that category of a vampire, doesn't it? To actually bite people.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's come around from that. So okay, that that's
could be where it stems from, but there's no proof to prove it.
Well, no,
wrong,
not
though.
proof. No proof whatsoever.
Because in this universe, where a vampire's just appeared.
Right. So again, another thing, right? Mirrors and sunlight.
Sorry, hang on. I haven't actually gone on to say the next thing I'm going to do.
Okay, what are you going to do next?
Well, I'm going to check the mirror
Yeah.
to see if he's in it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to open the blinds.
Yep. Oh, good one. But again, rabies may play part in that because of visual stimuli. That triggers off.
Oh, yeah. Classically, people with rabies don't appear in reflections.
No, well, they do appear in reflections. They don't like to see themselves in reflections because, they'll have spasms in their face and all sorts of things going on there. It sounds pretty horrible, rabies. Mum used to be really frightened about rabies when she was younger because I used to have things about it coming across.
I thought you were going to say Mum had rabies when she was younger.
As far as I know, she hasn't. So the vocal muscles as well are affected. So there'd be sort of hoarse groans, bare teeth. And again, bloody frothing from the mouth, like we talked about. So you could see someone who's actually suffering from that and think, "Oh, vampire."
No, you go,
It's also genetic
vampire.
red blood cell deficiency, porphyria, I think it's called, if I've written it down right. So you have you're pallid, you're white, and you've got this sensitivity to sun. So again, that all plays into the vampire legends as well. But you've looked in the mirror. It's not in the mirror. It's going to be a vampire, isn't it? You've opened the blinds a bit. It's not very happy. He's ducked down behind the the big
bath.
sort of bubble bath that we've got in there.
Yep.
Right. So what next? What are you going to go for next? What classically have we got in the?
Well, I've got a crucifix
in the cupboard in the bathroom just in case. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a crucifix in the cupboard in the bathroom, and I also keep a steak, but not the meat kind.
No. Oh, that's you're really going to do all right out of this. Then I reckon you're going to be okay.
I wind up a toilet roll tube like a steak.
Like a steak. Yeah. Yeah. Crucifix. Obviously, one of the things in this house is we have holy water coming out of our taps.
Yeah, we do.
So that's handy as well. So you can throw that at them.
Also, so with this, what do people with rabies have against crucifixes and holy water?
I don't think anybody likes water thrown over them. I think people with
Especially
rabies.
witches.
I think the general thing with people with rabies is they're rather irritable, so they get a little bit tetchy about everything, about the sun, about being touched, about anything at all. So if you're starting to wave a crucifix in front of them, they're going to get the ump anyway and try and bite you.
What's God doing for me? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I've got rabies. Where was he when I got rabies and that sort of thing? Why are you throwing water over me?
Yeah,
that's gone in my eyes now.
No,
I've got
wet.
lenses in. That sort of thing. Yeah. So okay, he's reeling now. This vampire, because it's a he, right? He's reeling. He's sort of backed into the shower unit, right? And he's in there. So you've really got to finish him off now. So what are you going to do?
I'm gonna tickle his toes.
Tickle his toes. Is that how you get rid of a vampire? Is it?
Yep.
No. Well, no. I think the best thing you do, you've rolled that toilet tube. Mm-hmm. You've made it into a steak. That's got to go through his heart.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought we'd already hinted towards that, but
you've hinted towards it, but you've got to do it.
All right, I'll go for his heart.
And then once you put that through his heart, right, you got to decapitate him.
Right. So what's the point? Just, okay. Right. Okay.
No.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind up some toilet paper now.
What, into some
and
sort of...
I'm going to clothesline him.
Really fast. Terrible paper cut. Yeah.
And we're really fast.
Yeah.
So it slices his head off. Because if you run into anything too fast,
we've got nail scissors in the...
oh yeah, I'll do that instead.
Those ones we use for everything. Like screwdriver.
Any tip for anyone?
Yeah.
Nail scissors.
They're not very good for cutting nails.
No.
But you can use them for all sorts
we
of
put
things.
together a greenhouse using...
We did.
We were drilling holes and screwing things in.
You chopped his head off, right? Chopped his head off. What you got to do as well is you got to you got to take his organs out, if you pardon the expression, right? So you've got to...
His internal organs.
His internal organs.
Skin is also an organ.
You got to tear out his heart and lungs, and and then you've got to burn all of it.
Right.
Right? They really are serious about doing this.
Can he put it back together then?
No, it's just to make sure. So you make sure that he's,
Because I've never seen a headless vampire. Because a headless vampire, what are they going to do?
Nothing. That's the problem, So you take off his head, but then you've got to make sure. So you've got to double up. It's no doing half the job. You've got to double up, take the organs out, burn the lot, right? And then you're free.
What if I just burn him straight away?
That vampire's, it's not going to work like that. He's still got his head. I think if you try and burn him without taking his head off, he's still got his powers. I'm making that up because I don't know, but that's the logic I'm applying to this.
Yeah. Don't you think bats are cool? They're like flying puppies.
Well, surely they're like flying mice.
No.
If they were flying puppies, it wouldn't be so bad, would it?
They look like little puppies, don't they?
Not really, no.
Yeah, with wings. They are cute, bats.
Well, yeah, I mean, I appreciate the beauty of bats. I mean, when you're out and they're flying around near your head, when we've been, out for walks in the evening and they're flying around, I find that slightly, not terrifying, but slightly alarming. But, they're not going to bash into you because they've all got GPS.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be as deaf as a bat, do you, Dad?
Deaf as a bat, which is a saying, that age-old saying that Becky came up with.
Says, deaf as a bat.
Deaf as a bat.
What's it going to do then?
Oh, dear. He's really in trouble then, isn't he? So, I mean, the problem is, with all that, is when someone... And this has happened. I've actually seen interviews with people. So more modern day, the actual people talking about
you haven't thought about this whole sentence yet, have you? Because
believed. I didn't know how to structure it, but I'm going to do it anyway. But I'm going to just go with it.
All right.
And
good luck.
For instance, they'd had the brother-in-law, and the brother-in-law is they suspect as being a vampire. So they've gone. That other people have been said they've got been visited in the night by him, even though he's dead and all the rest of it, and they're all getting frightened and he keeps trying to attack the women and all the rest of it, right? So they're convinced about that, so they dig him up. Now the problem is when they dig him up, and this is where all this sort of stuff comes into, they will dig him up and they'll look at him and they'll say, well, wow, he's definitely a vampire because he's got blood around his mouth. He's bloated from all the blood, right? So his stomach's swollen up.
He's clearly been eaten.
He's clearly been gorging on blood. And I've seen interviews with actual people
that's there is very tarry and smells
stinks,
really bad.
Right? and they take that. Now, obviously, we know that bodies... gases inside of bodies when they're breaking down does expand, so it will change it and you might get blood and all the rest of it. So all these things are part of a body decomposing. However, they see it as proof that's, and so they have dug up bodies. I watched a particular one when I was talking about it and done all those things I've said to make sure that their brother-in-law doesn't rise again and takes more victims, or
if they just cremated him the first time.
Well, yeah, but then in some cultures that's not. You can't do that anyway.
Yeah,
or
but
they
in
won't
some
do
cultures, digging up a body, stabbing it in the heart, decapitating it.
I think all cultures that's probably not. That goes against most cultures around the world, but they will do it anyway. But it amazes me how superstitious they are. And you put the strength of something like that along with religion, which goes hand in hand quite a lot anyway, it's the force of it. And they're not people that have got done for digging up bodies and decapitating them and burning bits of them and all the rest of it. It's quite accepted that they've done that because within their community...
Yeah, it's probably set up by
village.
local authorities. Like they were the ones doing it or something like that.
So, but this is modern day. This is people reacting modern day.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
One of the things, actually, what we didn't cover there, and what you should have done when you're in the bathroom, is you should have got the cotton buds, little pot of cotton buds that we've got in there, and then just thrown them all over the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Because apparently vampires are compelled to count everything. Which, incidentally, and I spoke to you about this.
You did. I was waiting for you. As soon as you said cotton buds, I was thinking.
I know Sesame Street. I know he's because Count Dracula. It's a title, Count, right? But he obviously counts. Now that's a play on the fact that he's the Count.
Yeah.
But also on the fact that he would have had a compulsion to count everything anyway, and I only just sussed that one out.
Because you can imagine, so as vampires, like, I'm here to drink your blood. And then someone goes, oh, but quick, count these beans in this can. He goes, oh, okay, 1,
2, yeah. And by the time he's finished, if
gone.
They're clever, you've gone, or the sun's come up. Now,
or I'm shouting quite loudly.
I know.
Or,
yes, bring it down.
Yes, bring it down because I was shouting and I could sense the microphone going, this is too loud. Or you stay around too long because you're interested in how many beans are in that can.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, if you get too tied up in it, then, you know, it's going to be dumb. But I didn't even... It's going to be dumb. I just meant dumb. That wasn't even a word.
I think you started to think, I want to say something else, and...
I couldn't even remember what I was going to say. No, so in these villages, it's quite a regular thing for people to do is to spread grain or seeds around their house to protect them because they know the vampires would have to count all those. They'll also drape some of the outside of their houses in nets, like fishing nets and that, because again, the vampires would have to count the holes in the nets.
Just save time and spread garlic for them to count.
I suppose that's double whammy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be a good option as well. But it's for something that's so sinister, something that's so frightening and terrifying, and genuinely, I read Bram Stoker's Dracula years ago. But I listen to a lot of things in audio when I'm in the car working. I've just listened to the whole of that book again, an audio one. It is genuinely quite scary. It's genuinely quite freaks you out quite badly. But the thought of just chucking something on the floor and then that alleviates any problem for the time being seems ridiculous to me.
Look, I've dropped my peanuts. Count them.
I wonder where that was going there. I suddenly went cold halfway through that sentence.
Yeah. Well, as it's such a special episode because it's Halloween and it's episode 40.
Yes. Am I supposed to go, oh, 40, I can't believe it's 40.
No, you weren't. You didn't need to do that.
Oh, right, okay, I won't now.
I was just going to say, I think we've got a song.
We have got a song. It's a vampire song.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't expect that.
It is. And I think it's got a title, but that title seems to have slipped my mind slightly.
All right. Should we say the title after the song? After
yes, go for it then.
Looked it up.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Invite me over for the bite to eat. Please order from the garlic a jacket that would be neat. If you serve in steak, make sure it's not made of wood. I like my meat very rare, and a pool of blood would be good. I think it's only fair to invite you to my lair. It's a bit of a squeeze, but quite quaint. We could do some stuffing while we sat in my coffin, and I nibble your neck till you're faint.
really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I've just remembered it's called A Vampire Came to Dinner.
Is that after I told you it's
Yes,
called?
it was after you told me, yes.
Bit overkill at the end, wasn't it? That bit at the end.
Yeah, I didn't even put that on there. I don't know how that got on there.
Oh,
That's mysteriously appeared
spooky. It must be
afterwards.
because of the date this podcast is coming out on.
It must be. Yeah, it's a little vampire song, a little cheeky vampire song.
Little cheeky vampire song.
Okay.
I love a little cheeky vampire song.
You do, and it was indeed. Okay, so we know what's coming next.
Do your
don't we?
vampire voice.
My vampire voice.
You really enjoyed doing that one, didn't you?
Oh, I did enjoy it, doing my vampire voice. It kind of slips into different things, though, and I have to be a bit careful
Like
with
West
it.
Country.
So if I'm doing it West Country, it went a bit Jamaican at one point, which was a little bit of a worry, but if I'm trying to do a vampire voice, I'm trying to do a vampire voice. I can't be held accountable for where that goes.
Accountable.
Yeah.
Game time.
Woohoo! It's time for a game.
It is time for a game. So, have we got a game sting?
Yeah, I think
Of course we've got a game sting. We always have a game sting. So why don't you play that
And then we'll go into
and
it.
then we'll go into it.
Oh, okay.
Down in the crypt, there's an opening lid. What is that rising to greet us? In his claw-like dead hand, a quiz can be found. Let's hope you get out alive.
So are you ready for this then? I've got a little bit of a surprise though,
Oh,
because I've managed to locate a vampire.
Oh, have you?
I have, and I've thought it might be quite nice to invite him along to do the quiz,
All right.
or as in ask the quiz questions, because it's you who's going to have to actually answer them.
Okay. Well, do you want to move over and...
I'll move over. Yeah.
You let him
hang
use
on,
your mic.
Yeah. Don't get anything on it, please. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I feel like I recognise your voice.
Do you?
Yeah.
Where do you recognize it from?
About 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes ago. No.
Oh.
So my name is Brad.
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 Rad.
Brad.
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 B-R-A-D.
So Brad.
Yes.
So I said.
All right.
You sound similar to a cat.
What cat?
My cat.
Your cat. No.
Because he speaks a bit like that too.
Does he? Is he a vampire cat?
Not that I know of.
Little vampire joke there. A
Was it?
vampire cat. Not a vampire bat.
Bad. Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, so...
You sound very much like my cat that I met in the Pets episode.
a little bit out of breath. I'd sounded a lot like the cat then. You've done it now. I'm very out of breath.
You okay?
Yes. Oh dear.
Is this...
Oh, it's the bane of my life. I get very out of breath.
Do you?
Yes.
Is it all the flying?
It is, and
It's also because you're dead.
I'm allergic to blood as well.
You're
It
allergic to
doesn't
blood?
help. Yes.
Yeah.
I prefer blackcurrant fruit shoots,
Right, okay.
but that's where I get my nickname
You've also
from.
got a speech impediment. You can't say R's.
No. That's where I get my nickname from. Brad the Inhaler.
Are you okay?
What's so funny about my name?
You okay, Brad?
I'm fine, thank you. So the quiz.
I forgot about the quiz.
Question 1. Before pumpkins were jack-o'-lanterns,
Sorry.
What were they made out of?
What were pumpkins made out of?
What were pumpkins? No, before pumpkins. Listen to the question. Before the sun will rise soon, and I'll have to finish. Before pumpkins, what were jack-o'-lanterns made out of?
Right. See, the first time you didn't word it quite like that.
A. Turnips. B. The skulls of dead relatives. C. Wood.
I'm going to go for B, the skulls of dead relatives.
No. It was A. Turnip.
Oh, okay. Very spooky.
Question 2. What was Dr. Frankenstein's first name? Was it A. Frank?
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Was it B. Mary?
Mary Frankenstein.
Mary Frankenstein. Or was it C. Victor Frankenstein?
Victor. C.
Yes, very well done.
Thank you. I think the other two were quite obviously not right.
Were they? Question 3. Someone who suffers from bogeyphobia is afraid
You're
of
laughing
what?
already.
Bogeyphobia is what? The fear, A. The fear
of A.
of the bogeyman. B. The fear of the grolly dolly. Or C. The fear of the flying snotsman.
Did you have fun writing these questions, Brad?
I did. Thank you very much.
A. The bogeyman.
Hey, the bogeyman. That is correct. Well done.
Thank you.
Question 4.
How many questions are there? Because the way you read these takes a very long time.
It is taking a long time.
It's fine. We've got
4.
time.
Who is the character of Dracula supposedly based on?
Jimmy Carr.
A. Myself, Brad the Inhaler.
Oh.
B. Vlad the Impaler. Or C. Grotbags the Witch.
It's very nearly could be C, but I think it's B, Vlad the Impaler.
It is Vlad the Impaler.
Are you friends with him?
No.
No.
Question 5. What is Frankenstein's monster most afraid of?
The mesh.
Is it A. Commitment? B. Seagulls? Or C. Fire?
I've not seen it. I've not seen Frankenstein, and I've not read the book or anything like that. Now, I feel like it should be fire, but part of me does feel like that someone made out of old bits of people would get attacked by seagulls walking down the street. So I'm going to go for C, fire.
Yes. Question 6. When knocking on doors on Halloween, what should you say? A. Your money or your life. B. Trick or treat. Or C. Anton Deck.
B, trick or treat.
That is correct. You're very clever.
Yeah.
Question 7. Which Michael Jackson song is frequently played at Halloween parties? Is it A. Can You Feel It? Is it B. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough? Or is it C, thriller?
Well, I thought you were going to say the one that goes, Annie, you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal, that's it. But as it's not that, I'm going to have to go for thriller. See.
That is correct. Question 8. You're doing very well.
Thank you.
What is a group of witches called?
The cackle.
Is it A, a coven? Is it B, a haggle? Or is it C, a cauldron? Oh, I can see this
B,
is...
haggle.
That is incorrect.
Okay. I thought it was a cackle witches.
It's a coven of witches. Question 9. How do you... Question 9. How do you defeat a zombie? Question 9. How do you defeat a zombie?
What's going
Is it
on?
A, stand still? Their eyesight is based on movement.
That's T-Rexes.
B, destroy their brain. Or C, read to them until they fall asleep and then tie their legs together.
Could be C, but I'm going to go for B.
It is B.
All right.
Destroy their brain. Question 10. Mummies are so named because originally in Egypt it was only mothers that were wrapped and buried. True or false?
False.
That is false. Well done.
Thank you.
Question, we're nearly there.
Okay.
Question 11. What happened there? Which of these is a real castle in Transylvania? A. Teleki Castle. B. Castle Grayskull. Or C. Clopper Castle.
Clopper Castle.
No, that's not right. It is Teleki Castle.
I just thought it sounds too much like Takeshi's Castle.
That's why I put it in the quiz.
Okay.
Question 12, the penultimate question.
Oh, so you've ended on 13.
Ah, yes, my
Interesting.
favorite number. Which of these can a vampire supposedly turn into? A. Mist. B. A spanner. Or C. A wolf.
Mist.
Well, that is partly correct. They can turn into all of those things.
Right.
Surprisingly, we can turn into
Surprisingly.
inanimate objects.
Like a spanner.
Like a spanner. And number 13. Unlucky for some. How do you kill a werewolf? And I'll say that again because I said werewolf. How do you kill a werewolf? Wolf. Is it A, imac? Is it B, silver or mercury bullets?
What was A, sorry?
Imac,
What's that?
wax.
Oh, sorry, was it earwax?
No, it's wax you put on the... Or is it C, make them listen to our complete back catalogues of podcasts?
What was B?
Silver or mercury bullets?
It's silver or mercury bullets.
It is, it is.
Did think it was gold, to be honest.
Well
but
done, Mr. Master Conor. You've done very well.
thank you.
I will not kill you tonight.
Not tonight then, no?
No.
When are you free then?
Oh, I'm very busy. I like to stay in most of the time.
Like the cat.
Like the cat, yes. I like to stay in and watch TV.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
Oh,
Would you like to know what my favorite TV programs are?
I feel like you're going to tell me.
They are. they are Carpathian karaoke. I like Married at First Bite, The Great British Steak Off,
I thought you
and
wouldn't like that.
my personal favourite, Only Ghouls and Corpses. I like that very much.
Yeah, Only Ghouls and Corpses.
Yes.
Yeah. It's quite good. It's probably my favourite out of that list you did.
Okay, well, I gotta go.
Okay.
I'm opening a cost cutter.
Are you?
I am.
Are you double booked?
No, I said I'd be there in about 15 minutes.
How long does it take you to get there?
Oh, not long.
No?
Not long.
Where is it?
It's in Pitsea.
Oh, you're getting there quite quick then, aren't you?
Yes, I can get places very quickly. So I got to open that up and maybe a few veins a bit later. A little vampire joke there. Okay, I
Must
have
fly?
to go. I must fly.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Can you tell Dad get back on the mic, please?
Would you like to get back on the mic while I go? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye then. Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Was?
What did you think when you just sitting there by the side?
Well, he was going
He's
on a
got a
bit
bit
when
cramped, didn't he?
he was taking a long while.
He
And
took
to be honest, I'm not convinced he comes from Romania or Transylvania.
Yeah.
No.
If I'm honest, I feel like there might have just been Maui in disguise.
Well, yeah, possibly, but yeah. Anyway, it was nice of him to come along
It was.
and do a guest spot. So we can't complain too much, can we?
No, we can't. It was really nice to have
You done all right on that quiz,
Yes,
didn't you?
yeah, it was pretty good. Not quite as good last week,
No, well,
where I got 100%, didn't I?
you did get 100%. So obviously, I said at the time that I'm quite happy to stick with you in case of some sort of massive, sort of
Apocalypse.
life-changing event. But vampires.
That wasn't just vampires, though, was it?
What, today?
Yeah.
No. No, it wasn't. No. No, that's absolutely
It's
right.
a Halloween, basically.
Yeah,
Is that what
it was a Halloween-based piece. Anyway,
That's good bit.
yeah, excellent. So, what else have we got to do? Have we had any messages?
No.
We've not had any messages.
No.
Okay.
No. Were you
No.
expecting a message?
I thought we might have had a message.
Your face seemed to act as if that we should have had a message, but I guess we hadn't. But there is something I did want to mention to you.
Go on then.
I just want to congratulate you because you didn't start the podcast by saying I'm a bit unwell at the moment. I've got a cough.
Well, I just thought that I'm going to have to just push through. I'm not 100% if I'm honest, but it's getting better, I think. So I don't feel the urge to cough all the time and sniff and that.
We didn't want to start episode 40 by saying.
No, it's a new dawn for me.
Yeah. Do you reckon you can make it to episode 50 without saying that?
I hope so. I sincerely hope I can make it through to whenever, saying that I'm feeling absolutely fine and dandy. But you don't know, do you?
You don't. And I mean, as for this podcast, I haven't got. I think we've pretty much spoken about everything we want to. Is there anything that you want to mention?
No, I mean, I don't want to be a killjoy about Halloween. Loads of people enjoy Halloween.
Yeah.
Go and do it. As long as you're sensible and don't upset anybody.
Yeah.
People have got decorations outside their house. They obviously want to celebrate Halloween. If they haven't, then they don't.
And if they're sitting indoors with their lights off,
Like we will be laying on the floor, then, they obviously don't want to know.
yeah. But if you do celebrate Halloween, we hope you have a lovely, happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Just in terms of everything there, though, we did mention about not having any messages.
No.
Yeah, we've not had any messages come through this particular week.
Yeah.
Wasn't that long since the podcast came out, to be fair.
Yep.
So, anyway, if you do have any messages, we've got our website available, fatherandsundays.com. You can leave messages on the contact page, but it's also a great way you can listen to podcasts on there. We've got our blog page, our What's New page there as well. There's a couple of bits added every here and there. Our store help support the podcast, keep it going if you want to as well. You can buy a couple bits on there. Yeah, also the About page. But on there as well also does direct you to all the different podcast platforms because we are on pretty much all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All the good ones anyway.
Yeah, all the ones that are worth being on.
Yeah, exactly. And so you can listen to any of those like Spotify, iTunes, whatever. But we've got our social media pages as well, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where you can like and follow us on those.
Yep.
Yeah?
Okay.
But, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Do you feel there's something else then?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I was literally thinking a moment ago there's something I want to mention.
Okay.
Before we go.
Well, before, just have a quick think, just in case, and I'd just like to say, hi Sue, and hi Sam, hi Becky, thanks for your messages that didn't come through to this, but came through on a separate sort of medium, as in our phones. Yep. And hope you enjoyed today's one, and from me, it's bye-bye.
Oh, and for Andrew, Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, we're just trying to get all his bingo.
Things he doesn't like.
No,
not interested in. Not interested in.
He plays bingo with what we say in a podcast. And
oh,
what
right,
we
and as a shot, does he?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's about it then. I can't think of what I was going to say.
Well, good.
So we're just going to end the episode.
Brilliant. What an ending.
What an ending, because we don't know what's going on. Have a spooky time out there and stay safe, everyone. Oh, and I remember what I was going to say now. Remember the 7th of November, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, we certainly will.
For the 7th of November.
There'll be
wonder what that could
fireworks.
be. Anyway, let's say stick around if you want to hear more there. It's going to mess. Anyway, bye.
Bye.
Bye.